Hi there, I'm Sherry. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. You are catching me. I am trying to do more things than I can actually do in a day. So I wanted to hop on and do a video for you guys on what should I do in July in Zone 6B in my garden, my flower bed, my house plants, herbs, everything. I can tell you what we're doing right now. We're in Zone 6B. We're in kind of sort of South Central Kentucky. So we have kind of a moderate summer. Right now it's 79 degrees right now. It'll get up in the 90s, maybe low 80s, mid 90s right now. So right now is a really good time if you are planning on planting a second round of vegetables, now is the time to do that. You can plant purple hull peas right now and get a harvest. They harvest in 60 days, so you can get a harvest of those. You can plant another round of your squashes, your yellow squash, your zucchini squash. You can, if you didn't get a chance to get them in the beginning, you can get them in now and get them planted. You can plant bell peppers right now. If you plant them now and you take really good care of them, give them plenty of water, pruning, you could still get enough bell peppers for the season. If you're planting now, you can plant most beans right now, and there's plenty of time because we won't see our frost till mid to late October. We'll see a killing frost, probably late October, early November. We might have a killing frost that'll kill off a lot of the more tender things. If you're going to do a fall garden, which is your root crops and your broccolis, your brassicas, now is the time to get those started from seed if you have seed. I'm going to do my broccoli. I'm going to do broccoli, cauliflower, and probably kohlrabi. Now I'm going to get those from seed. I have seed, so I'm going to get those going. And I'll have them ready to go as soon as it's not quite so hot. Let's see, what else can I do? As far as flowers, you can plant dahlias still. It's a good time now to plant dahlias. You're not going to get as many blooms on your dahlias. Planting them right now. You can plant your gladiola bulbs right now. They'll come
She's at the
up.
holes.
You might not get so many. They may not bloom this year. Maybe the spring before they bloom. You can plant. Dusty, please stop. You can plant your bulbs now, and you can have them ready for at least a good spring harvest. As far as other plants, you can plant echinacea right now. You'll still have time to get it in the ground and get it growing. It may not bloom this year. It may bloom next year, but at least you can get it in the ground. I think it would bloom. I think there is enough time for it to bloom. I think echinacea was 45 to 50 days to bloom. You can still get some of your herbs in. You would have plenty of time for them to grow. You can do herb seeds right now. They would have plenty of time before the frost to be able to grow and for you to get a nice sized crop off of them. Now is the time that your basils, they're getting long, so now's the time to be picking off those flowers so they will bush out. A lot of your herbs, you want them to bush out. You don't want them to just be tall and lanky. You want them to bush out and have more leaves and more things that you can do, that you can use culinary wise. Now is a good time. The basil, if you have been picking your blooms, now is the time to start harvesting some of the smaller leaves. Take some of the top tender leaves. It'd be a great time right now, and I normally do it in the morning pinch off some leaves to make some basil tea for the day. Right now, lemon balm, make sure you're pinching the seed pods, the flower pods back, and they're going to get bushy and spread. Lemon balm is very prolific, so it's in the mint families. They're very prolific. And let's see, which else? Thyme right now, it's a good time to harvest it. It's got a really good flavor this time of year. It's not quite hot, but it's just hot enough to where you're going to have a good flavor. It's a little late to plant okra right now. I don't think you're going to have, you might have time to get some small seed pods, some small okra before the frost. I think I have some okra. I'm going to try it to see. I've never planted okra this late. I've always planted my okra in June. But this year we've just had trouble with deer. Something terrible. We have planted our garden literally twice already this year, and the deer has just mowed it down. So we've had trouble with deer. What we are doing right now in the garden is we are putting coffee grinds, and they seem to be deterred by the coffee grinds. So I went over to Starbucks and picked up a bag of coffee, and I just sprinkled it all over the place. I mean, all over the flower beds. I sprinkled it in the garden beds, and the deer seem to be leaving it alone. They've kind of really took a liking to my blackberries that are along my fence rows. And now is the time to pick blackberries, and I'm also, as I'm picking them, like some of the long shoots that you'll see, all of a sudden you'll have this great big old long shoot going across. I'll trim that back, and then I take it and I go plant it somewhere else. I'll just stick it in the ground, and then it comes back, and then it'll root. I've had good success here rooting blackberries that way, so it's been pretty neat that I've been able to actually do that. So I've been really happy with the starts that I have started like that. Now is a good time to plant some of your herbs. I got to get out right this second, but I'm just going to stay with you guys for just a second more. That is some of the things that we are doing in our gardens. We are getting ready for our second planting of a lot of stuff, even though this is actually our third planting because of the deer. Our gardens are really going to be late this year, so I'm hoping to get my bell peppers in. I just bought 20 more bell pepper plants in hopes that the deer won't eat these, and hoping that we will get them in this weekend and get them growing. This weekend I'm going to be planting echinacea. I'll be planting dahlias. I'm going to be planting quite a few zinnias. Zinnias, you can get your zinnias in now and they will grow. They have time to bloom. So I'm going to be planting zinnias, bachelor buttons. I'm fixing to put in some lavender. Lavender. And I'm also going to work on taking some cuttings of some of my lilac bushes, and I'm going to see about rooting them and see if I can root some more lilac bushes to put up here around the house. Another thing that you can plant right now, it is hot enough to plant sweet potato slips here in Kentucky. So I don't know how many I'm going to get in. I'm not quite sure, but I think I have 40 sweet potato plants that I'm going to try and get an area tilled and ready for them to go in down probably at the lower garden, and get them in and see if I can get some sweet potatoes this year. I have the regular everyday sweet potatoes you can buy in any store. I have some white sweet potatoes, I have some purple sweet potatoes, and I have another Chinese variety that's a regular looking sweet potato, but it's very, very sweet. I think it's called a jewel, maybe. Don't don't hold me to that, but it's something like that. It's a really, really good sweet potato. I make a lot of stuff with them. If I get a harvest this year, I'll kind of show you what I do with them. I make sweet potato pies and put in the freezer. I make sweet potato fries. I will chop a lot of them up for sweet potato fries and get the harvest in the freezer, because I do not have a root cellar to where they'll keep. That's something we're looking at building in the next year or so. So my potatoes are ready right now, so I can pull the potatoes. I think I have white potatoes. No. I have Irish potatoes, and I have golden Yukon potatoes that are ready. They're ready to go. I need to just get them out of the beds. And this is the second planting this year. I did plant some back, I want to say February, and they came up and they produced. I was so shocked, but we had a very mild winter. So after the big freeze that we had where it was below zero, I just planted some potatoes that I had. They were organic and they were just sprouting in the kitchen. So I went out and planted them, and I literally got potatoes from them. So our weather has changed quite a bit, so things are a little bit different now, but I'm enjoying it because I'm getting to plant a lot more. And this year we have put in a lot of raised beds. We're doing the raised beds this year, and that's kind of held back progress because you have to fill them, and you have to get the dirt, you have to get the compost. It takes a lot to do those type of beds. But once you get them in, it's just maintenance. Because I know with several of the beds that we put in a couple years ago, they have deteriorated by half. So now we have to fill up those beds. So you have a pretty constant maintenance every year that you got to fill it with mulch and kind of, till it in. What I did is I took a pitchfork and just kind of turned it, and it was fine, and planted right in it, and everything did fine. That's kind of what I have that we can do for the July, for as far as your house plants. If you have them outside, I would definitely make sure I water them well, keep them out of direct sun, because they don't like direct sun. Some of them do, some of them don't. Maybe keep an eye on them. Now is the time to start looking for sales. The next couple of months, look for sales on pots, because if you need to repot some of your house plants, now is a good time to look for those sales. Coming in August and September to be another good time. From now to October is a good time to find pots for your potted plants. But I would definitely start making sure I have my little stash of pots and potting soil for my indoor plants. Get ready for the fall of the year when you have to either repot them, or you need to clean them up, or maybe change the pot, or whatever you need to do for those. As far as my indoor plants, I have most of mine on both of my porches, and they're happy and healthy. When I see dead leaves, I make sure that I pick those out of there. I don't let them sit in there. And I kind of keep an eye out for gnats. When you have your plants outside, sometimes the gnats can be a problem. So I kind of watch them. I kind of shake them and see what happens. If I see little gnats coming out of them, then my husband, I say, hey, you got to do something with this. So, and then he will usually change the soil and get rid of that soil and put fresh soil in it, and then he will wash the pot really, really good in a good soapy water and rinse it very, very well. So that's all that I do with my indoor plants. I'm just enjoying them on the porch. There's a lot of different flowers and trees that you can plant right now. As far as with my trees, I'm not really fertilizing anything right now, but I'm getting a plan together. Now's the time to plan that if you want to buy trees, or if you want to move a tree, plan now where you want to put it, and then in the fall of the year, once they go dormant, that's the time that you would want to move them. Well, I think I covered everything. So that's kind of what I'm doing in July. It's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. Getting ready to do my second round of planting, which for me is third. And that's kind of what I'm doing. So I hope this helps you, because I know I wish when I was a beginning gardener that I had somebody that would tell me all this stuff, because I really had no idea what to plan and what to do. But now that I've done this for 20 years, I kind of have an idea of what I need to do when, and I've just really gotten better at it now. So I hope you enjoyed my content today. Please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the content, and share it so other people can learn what to do during different months of the year. I will come back in August and tell you what I'm doing in August and what you can do in August in Zone 6B. I am in Zone 6B. I don't think we can do Zone 6A is a little bit cooler than what we are. So we're more, now what is in Tennessee, you can also do in Tennessee what you're doing here in Kentucky. We have about the same type of climate. So, well, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great weekend and get a lot in your garden done. Bye.